So here, basically we want to tackle these two things.
Ooh. My audio just dropped out again. I'm gonna try doing this in Chrome instead of Firefox. I'm sorry, guys.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
Okay, he just dropped. Let's see.
Okay. Okay. So did you look at this issue?
Yes, I saw the. Let me see if we are talking about the same GitHub issue. It's on the agenda. Let me see. I only see minutes for improvement. Each attendant must add themselves into the minutes. I don't see. Let me refresh because I don't. But I saw one of the issues. No, it doesn't appear here. Let me. I am adding my name.
Adding your name, yeah.
But I don't see the link for the GitHub issue there. But anyway.
Let me put the link now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Is it perfect?
Yeah. It's still really garbled for me, but I'll just try to make do.
Okay, thank you. So,
you're welcome.
So here, issue.
Yeah, let me see if it's the same I reviewed before the call.
So there's two things, 468 and 341. These are similar.
Yes, 6648.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I understand what the issue is here. I recall that there is inside of the WP engine, there is code that beautifies, if I will call that process, the markdown to generate these pages. And I think that will be the place for this. I don't think that this is related with the API that Summer mentions that is on Amazon Web Services. But we will need to double check if this is just something that is transformed on the WP engine side of the fence.
Oh gosh, now it's even worse. See?
Are you sharing your screen, Emily?
Oh yeah.
Because I don't.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was sharing.
No, I was looking at the document here.
Let me share my screen. Share. Yeah. So here, so basically it's kind of the. Oh.
No, the metrics. This is the metric, the pages. Let me see the one from the ticket.
Oh, it's changed.
It got shrink. Let me go there.
Yeah.
This was home content not readable on MicroProfile IO home page.
Oh gosh, now it's a blank page. You see. If you say here, metric spec and nothing. And then PDF. So this metric spec doc. Look at this is all over the place. Now it's floating.
Yes, I see what you're seeing now. Let me.
It's different from before. Yesterday, I think fault tolerance. Look at the fault tolerance here.
Did it work, right?
Yeah. So here is a do work and a dot come here and then do this one. And then you look at to be 6 instead of 2. It's really like this is a comma. So yeah. It's all over the place, right?
Yeah, let me check here. Fault tolerance is this one, right?
So the metrics. matrix.
Let me try to see if this is generated content.
Hey, can y'all hear me okay now?
Yeah, perfect.
Way better.
All right, thank you.
Way
Thank you.
better. Yes.
I'm on Windows now.
Oh, okay. So Windows is the rescuer.
Windows rescued me. Yeah. All right. And could you share the link to the notes one more time?
Yeah.
So one of the things that Cesar and I ran into the last time we were working on the website is a lot of the site is split between a Amazon Web Service and a WordPress content store.
Mhm.
And I don't know what the source of the truth for the copy on the website is.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that kind of makes it hard to do work on the MicroProfile site project if we risk updating the web pages and then pushing them to WordPress and wiping out content that's been added over the past few years.
So the code is here, right?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, yes, that's right. Let me see. Yeah, that's the endpoint who has the logic, as I recall, to grab the information from from GitHub API and
Right.
deliver that information to what the Summer mentioned, right, on the other side of the WP engine.
Okay. So here,
Right
project
page.
page. It's very simple.
I'm trying to, let me see. I want to find the API that we are calling from the website. Fault tolerance was the one that you just showed, right?
Yeah.
A couple of minutes ago. Okay. Right, Eclipse MicroProfile fault tolerance.
The WordPress, that's for blogs and etc. I think. Summer. Is that also related to here?
Well, I think the WordPress site is also serving like the static contents of the web pages, because there's an API server and there's the JSP pages, the web pages. The API server is on Amazon, and that's not updated when people update the website. So like over the past year, we've updated the content on the website, but Caesar and I actually had to do a manual push of that jar file to AWS. But even then, it still didn't update the web pages, that updates that we had put, that I had put in the project. And I don't know where that code, where those resources are updated.
Right.
Let me show you something here.
Do you want to share screen?
Yes,
Just
give me
that?
just, yes,
Yeah.
give me just 1 second. I'm going to prepare the page I wanted to show you.
Yeah. Let me stop share.
Okay, let me share quickly here. Okay, so here we are inside of the WP engine for MicroProfile. And for example, for the project page, I recall, I think it was Andre who create this JavaScript code that basically are the ones in charge of consuming the endpoints that Summer was mentioning. And if something can be done to fix that part, I think it will be around all this code here. Contributor, you see that you have the APIs. Oops, sorry. API contributor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. No, I
Yeah,
know.
there's static website code in WordPress that is not in GitHub.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, we have both words, as Summer mentioned. Some things are static, so let me go to pages. I think that's going to be, for example, frequent asked question. This is a static content. I bet
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
not coming
yeah.
from. This is not coming from API. Look,
Yeah. I
this is
only
static.
look at a posts in the past. I didn't even look to the pages. Okay.
Yeah, but the ones that are the
Oh,
ones that are dynamic ones, I think are the project page and the contributor page.
okay.
Let me remove
Yeah.
this thing here. Yeah,
Like
this one,
I'm
because
Right, because you constantly need to refresh and retrieve the new contributors, right?
yes. And
Yeah.
let me see.
And
Yeah.
so like for the projects page that has to constantly refresh, I fixed
Yeah.
that about a year ago,
Yeah,
but because of how we deploy, it never actually got deployed and it's still not deployed, which is, you know, a little bit of a problem. And so the code that actually that like fixes that part of it's, you know, that file, the project TypeScript file, and then the Jade template also got updated. And so those two things would need to be updated to actually get that fixed. And a bunch of other things like that, probably for all of the other fixes that people are reporting, all of the other bugs people are reporting.
right. I see. That makes sense.
Yeah.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
And also on the Amazon Web Service side of the fence, there is there is a logic in which the GitHub project that you were seeing, Emily. For example, for some pages, I recall for the contributors, and I think it is highly possible that the same approach goes for the projects. That API, what it's doing is actually pulling the GitHub API, grabbing that and then store it locally, I will call it. I don't recall if it's in memory or some in-memory database or something like that. And then any subsequent request coming from the WP engine via this JavaScript code is delivered by that. So there is still a potential gap between the last pull that the API did from the GitHub API. And right. Yeah, and sometimes, as Summer mentioned last year, that API wasn't updated, wasn't automatically deployed. So that was the changes were never being seen on the WP engine. So there are like 3 steps that goes from some content to go from the markdown files on the GitHub projects up to be showing up and running. Also the security, we have caching on Cloudflare. So that adds another layer of things that you can flush in terms of cache.
Right, I see. Okay, potentially still have a cache problem. No, I think it's JavaScript couldn't render the markdown file. That
this
might
point,
be the problem.
For that specific thing that we are seeing here, my bet is on that part of the JavaScript. We will need to double check this. But for that particular issue, I think that's the one that Summer described was basically update is not being reflected. Updates on the GitHub side of the fence were not updated and reflected on the final site. So that needs a redeploy of the API. But in this case, for the Markdown issue, I think here is going to be the fix.
Right. And what I'm saying is that fix should probably be done in GitHub and then deployed to WordPress, not done in WordPress and then copied back to GitHub. Like,
that will.
Okay.
Yeah, the actual solution to this problem also, I think, involves solving the single source of truth problem, where we have GitHub and WordPress, and we only need to have one.
Yes. So we need to determine the source of truth. So I agree. The source is kind of the GitHub, and here is the destination, right?
Yeah, and it seems like people have been updating directly in WordPress, so we can't deploy from GitHub to WordPress without taking out fixes that have been done over the past couple of years.
But in that case, I think that's not that particular workflow that you describe is not possible, because if I want to go and let's say I want to go to projects and I want to add something for a particular project here, I cannot edit this because this is not this part here. Everything that we see here is being translated via the JavaScript code. So there is no way I can add a text here by going here and changing something manually, unless I do it via the JavaScript code. I am talking just about the project pages, right? Not the other ones.
Right. So now we have, right. So getting the project pages to render is another
dynamically.
Let's fix the project page first.
Yeah, the approach that Summer mentions, I was brainstorming, and I think the straightforward thing that we all have seen is we have the README files and everything, but that is scattered around different projects, right? So still there is some logic that needs to be carried. I don't know, maybe by another GitHub Pages project who summarize all that. So instead of the JavaScript, we will be pointing to that GitHub Pages, right? But again, I don't know in terms of, I think that's a second discussion. I know we started with that particular GitHub issue, and for that, I think the fix is on this JavaScript code. The second thing let me go to the agenda. Sorry if I am. Yeah, the other thing that is not on the agenda is, applying some reengineering to the current infrastructure and design of the website, which involves what we are talking about.
Right, I see. So your suggestion, there could be two potential solutions. One is just don't use this JavaScript. Maybe it's directly point to the GitHub repo. Like if they click on the MicroProfile for torrent, directly bring them to the GitHub repo. The other thing is the fix is the kind of fixes this rendering problem. Is that what you are suggesting?
Yes. The rendering problem can be fixed via two ways, based on my understanding. And one is fix the current JavaScript code.
Yeah.
I think that requires X amount of time.
Yeah.
The other way to fix that is actually re-engineering the entire website.
Oh.
But that obviously, I don't know if Summer agree with me, that is something that is good, but it's not something that we will take half day, I think. I don't know. But
yeah, it's so in the ideally, the MicroProfile site will be a static site, and when any of the resources are updated, either they're a MicroProfile project that we configure GitHub to watch to make sure that if something like the README changes, it regenerates its static files, or if someone commits to the MicroProfile site project itself, it regenerates the static files and it redeploys it somewhere where people can use it. That's one part of this whole re-engineering you were talking about, right, Cesar?
That's right. That's right. Reengineering, I will call it. I'm gonna add it in the agenda because I think it's. I don't know if we have a GitHub issue for that. I'm happy to open it, but yeah, website reengineering, I will call it. That's like a.
Okay, I mean, oh yeah, that's
Oh,
good.
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead to, and yeah.
That's like the other option to as I see it, to solve that. Um. Yeah, we can brainstorm about how to tackle the second part. Let me go and see the other GitHub issue because you mentioned two, right? 341. Let
Yeah.
me see if it's the same. I see both issues referring to the same behavior between the conversation. I saw that. Let me put. I'm sharing a screen, right? So I'm gonna.
Yeah, looks like it's related, same thing.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here I'm seeing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And let me see. Yeah. Then during the conversation, I think it was a glitch on at some point, a 504.
Oh yeah. I saw that as well. I saw earlier. Some glitch.
Yeah, that's just the CDN taking a nap on us.
Right. Yeah.
This, let me see.
So that comment is yeah. Maybe we will add more. It can be solved via other things. I think that one.
This is more related to content, right?
Sorry.
This is more this specific part of the GitHub issue is not the same as the problem described at the top, right? Yeah, this is another.
Correct. As should Ryan, I will work with Ryan, probably add some description for each building block.
This is like a feature improvement.
Yes, it's not related to this site, this project.
Okay. Yeah, this is the same. Sorry if I scroll too fast, but yeah, for me, this from what we have here on the previous GitHub issue, I think we are talking about the same at the beginning, right? Here we're talking about the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if I can talk with Andre. He's available next week. I recall he was the one. Ryan, it will help me to clarify that. But I think it were to open a GitHub issue for what we just discussed with this topic about website engineering, right? We can have in the next calls. I think we can take advantage of the time to brainstorm this. We will need to think on options, how to make it more static. I still think that we will need something that in the middle will be listening to those pages, like GitHub Actions, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not impossible for like, since these are all MicroProfile GitHub projects, it shouldn't be hard for us to set up actions in those to make sure that they update the website when they update something on them and just have it be automatically done. But I say it's not hard, it's just a lot of work.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. One topic that I don't know, how is the quota that we currently have in GitHub Actions, or we already have CI on for MicroProfiles. I think it's Jenkins, right? So the thing is that we need something that will do this, or either pulling or either letting the projects to push, that Summer mentioned.
Yeah.
There is something in the chat. Let me see.
I think we can also set up GitHub Actions to just update once a day, no matter what.
Oh, that's a good idea. the only thing is kind of then do the update. We just need to for that we need to like log on and view it, and then if it's no change, and then the PR will be empty, right? GitHub.
It depends on how we want to do it.
Right.
If all the website is doing is just scanning all of the services and making a new website, then that really doesn't need a PR because it's just a new release based on the snapshot of the data at a state of time. If we want to have that be downloaded and brought into the source code, that's, we could make a PR and have it automatically submit so we see it.
Right.
We can also just commit straight from the GitHub action as well. So we see those changes. Those are these are all options we can do. And I'm not proposing any of them for a solution.
Yeah, I see. So basically you are saying GitHub actions directly doing not doing the refresh the web page. I was thinking I was thinking something else. Okay, that makes sense. So that means any human inventation. So I was thinking, do we have to manually push it?
No, we shouldn't have to manually push it.
That's right.
And in this ideal world where we've written this GitHub action.
Okay. So that sounds feasible. Sounds reasonable. So what I think maybe this is simpler as well. So what do we want to do then? So do you want to explore both or
so there's just fixing the issues as is, which is the other one of the both, right, Emily? Was that? Yeah. My thought is we've been trying to fix the issues one at a time or at least I have for a while, and that hasn't really gotten any results.
right.
So maybe it is time to just look at, hey, let's make the static website, and as we're building it out, fix these issues as they come up.
And try it out. Let's give it a go because it's not in a good state anyway. What do you think, Cesar?
Yes, I think I agree with Summer. I think we are gonna start putting effort and time and socialize this upcoming change. I think it's the right timing for going in that direction, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Cool.
So Summer, you are going to do it, or you work with Cesar?
I can work with Cesar, and we can start just having like a regular meeting at some point and invite people to it and hope that we get people starting to communicate and get some traction on it. Otherwise, it's just going to be us plunking at it slowly over the course of the next few months.
So you think doing a static page will take a few months?
When you count the static page as being fixing all the bugs on the website and setting up the GitHub flows and setting up the other projects so that they feed into GitHub if necessary and testing all of that, like it could be a couple of months. Yeah, it's a real.
Yeah, I'm sorry for interruption. We will also need to take into consideration that one thing is how we push everything, but there is also, we are not going to get rid of the CSS. Because I bet that this issue that we have is related with that. So because at the end, if we want to keep the look and feel of the project and everything, there will be some kind of front end magic there, so it matched. Otherwise, it will be, I think, too shocking to see the layout of the existing website, and then when you go to project, see just the markdown as it is from GitHub pages.
Right. Yeah, that's yeah, sounds good. I basically I schedule this weekly call so we can get together every week this time and then start working on it. They continue working on it. So it's the other thing is kind of in the meanwhile, Cesar, do you want to check with your colleague? What's his name again? Who wrote
Andre,
that?
I'm gonna check with Andre.
Yeah.
So we can, I think in parallel we can
Yeah.
work on both
Yeah,
approaches.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, but I agree with Summer on socializing the upcoming reengineering thing, because otherwise we will end up in a couple of months being just the three of us knowing how to update everything in terms
Yes.
of
Absolutely. I send a note to invite people to join. We'll also discuss it in next week's technical call in MicroProfile, and also we'll bring up in the next live hangout. So make sure people are aware what we're doing, and invite more people to come to contribute. So I do not know how many people will be able to contribute, but anyway, we'll record it, and hopefully we will get a good structure so that maintenance is not that expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we get lucky, we can still reuse some of like the blog functionality from WordPress or something, and don't have everyone having to commit everything into GitHub. Or do we want to just deprecate WordPress entirely, and if you update like a blog or something, it has to go through GitHub and it has to go through a PR?
that's another option with a wider scope, right?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah, so you are saying also affect the all pages. It's not only project pages affect if someone come to do a blog, so they have to go through GitHub issues, GitHub a PR.
Yeah, so
Yes.
ultimately we want to have one source of truth for the website.
Right.
And either the website has a big bright line that says past here is WordPress, or we bring the WordPress data into the site. And the more I talk about it, the more I am turning myself against doing a big migration of WordPress data into the GitHub project. So yeah, I think we should probably just put up big guardrails and big artifacts in the code to let people know this is in WordPress and it's not in the site. Just what I really want to get away from is having things like the JavaScript for the website be edited in WordPress.
Right, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So if someone write a blog and then in the future it's just maybe it's an entry point is GitHub instead of WordPress, then. So it's the only thing is in the GitHub it's difficult to do all the SEO stuff, right?
Yeah. I think I've talked myself into, for now, let's not get rid of WordPress. Let's get rid of the AWS backend, because that's where all the dynamic is coming from, and that might be enough.
Okay.
So the static site will make everything. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Let me write it down on the notes so we don't.
Yeah.
One thing is editing the JavaScript, CSS logic, or migrating the JavaScript CSS logic from WP Engine into
yes, perfect.
GitHub pages, right? Or you name it, right?
the GitHub project into
Go ahead. Yeah. And second,
all right, yeah. Does that make sense? Basically, the goal, the thing we're trying to do is not have people edit code and logic in WordPress, have that in the website, get rid of the AWS API server so that we don't have any dynamic data. It's all static.
Yeah. That's moving parts. Okay. Yeah.
yep. Yes, that's right. It can be several or maybe one. I was trying to find out a GitHub Actions that I demo for Chris from Eclipse Foundation webmaster team, because I found an issue that when you want from one GitHub project commit to another GitHub project, so from that from that test, it was easier just to pull and then you do the whatever you need to do. In that approach is a centralized approach. When you pull from different sources, you create something that you commit in your own repo. That was easier from the test I did. I will follow up that on here on the meeting notes and in the mailing list. But maybe they simplify this. But the last time we tested, it was kind of cumbersome from one project trying to commit to different projects and do modify different projects. But I will search for that.
Yeah, it's so when I say so, one of the GitHub actions I am envisioning is a linter that MicroProfile projects will have that makes sure that they have the required files that the website will look at. And that's just an action you can add on your project. And every time there's a PR, are the files there at the end? Yes or no?
Yeah.
And then have another GitHub action for actually building the website. And that one will live in the MicroProfile site.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. I will search my proof of concept that I built for Chris, and I will add it here.
Yeah, I did a lot of variations on this at Red Hat, so I have a bunch of just reference code I can look at.
Great. Yep.
Okay.
Do
an
we
action
have...
item? If you want, I'm gonna add here an action item to check entry current script code. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I was going to say I'll take an action item to look at the different